Sarah, two sources familiar with the situation tell NBC News that Trump's attorneys have been notified that he has been indicted. This would be a historic first for a former U.S. president to be indicted in any kind of criminal matter. In this case, two sources are telling NBC News that former President Donald Trump has been indicted and his lawyers have been notified of that. We don't have any indication right now as to what the specific charges are here that the former president has been indicted on. The New York Times is out with a report within the past couple of minutes saying that the indictment remains under seal at this hour. We're trying to verify all that. We'll bring you as much detail on it as we have. But all of this, as you know, Sarah, centers around an investigation into hush money payments that the former president's lawyer paid before the election campaign in 2016, or during the election campaign in 2016, before the election, to Stormy Daniels, the adult film star, $130,000 in hush money to indicate to Stormy Daniels that she should not reveal the details of an alleged affair. The former president has denied that affair. He has denied that the hush money payment was in any way improper or illegal. And we're going to see now a titanic struggle in court as to whether or not this indictment is going to lead to a conviction of the President of the United States, and remember, the former President of the United States. And remember, of course, that an indictment is just an allegation. Those allegations need to be proven in a court of law. The next steps here, Sarah, will be interesting for history because what you could see for the first time ever is a former United States president being arraigned in a court in Manhattan, being fingerprinted and photographed in the bowels of a courthouse alongside his Secret Service detail, which will be there to protect him even as he's going through this legal process. So we're entering a period in American history that we haven't seen before, Sarah, and we're going to get more information on exactly what these charges are, the status of when this might be unsealed and when we might learn more about what exactly this case is. But you can imagine that this will set off a titanic legal battle and a titanic political battle now as the former president, Donald Trump, is running for president again in 2024, now running under indictment, Sarah. Back over to you.
I can just imagine the political fallout. So, Eamon, we will find out the charges, the specific charges that will get publicized?
It's not clear. They will have to publicize those at some point. Typically, a grand jury will indict under seal, and at some point that seal will be removed, and we'll see the charges will land on the docket. We'll all be able to see them and determine, what kind of a case this is. The DA here has been playing his cards a little bit close to the vest in the sense of we don't know exactly what he has. We don't know if this is centered specifically around the payment to Stormy Daniels. The facts around that have been known for some years now, Sarah. The other question is, whether there are payments to other women here. There was a former Playboy playmate who received a payment. There's a question about whether that's involved here. We just simply don't know at this hour the full extent of the case here that the DA has put together against the former president, but he is going to have to unseal that, and he will have to make that case in public. It is not necessarily a slam dunk case. You think back to the precedent here. John Edwards, the former Democratic candidate for president, faced a similar allegation of political hush money and ended up walking away from that case. The jury was not able, or the prosecution was not able to prove its case in that situation involving a similar set of circumstances around hush money to cover up an alleged affair in a political context. In this case, you would be looking at potential questions around falsification of business records, questions around the idea of whether this was an improper campaign contribution by somebody or an expenditure by somebody, including the former president himself, that was not handled according to campaign law. A lot of questions around what the actual charges will be here, and that'll make all the difference.
And he will have to come to New York to face them, correct?
He would have to come to New York. He would have to be in a courthouse in New York. He would have to be fingerprinted and photographed. There will be a mugshot of the former president. These are all things we've never seen before in American history, Sarah. So it is going to be something to see that. And, of course, for the Secret Service, you can imagine how mind-bending that is to have a Secret Service protectee taken even temporarily into a courthouse to be photographed and fingerprinted and all the procedures that go along with that process.
Yeah, a lot of security. Eamon, thank you. Keep us posted as you learn more. Thanks for all the information. Eamon Javers in Washington. Again, the news, a grand jury. We can report voting to indict former President Donald Trump.